Okay, so today I'm going to discuss uh, the night journey that the Prophet Muhammad made when he entered in to Jerusalem and where it actually happened at. Most people uh, would tell you that it happened at the location where Al-Aqsa is at, but this is not actually based on Islam. This is just something that is like a tradition that people say that is not necessarily true. Now, based on the Islamic tradition, which is that the Quran is a book that confirms the other religions that came before it, the actual location, the blessed neighborhood where the Prophet Muhammad made the journey into the heavens is actually Mount Gerizim in West Bank. So it says in the book of Deuteronomy 10:8, at that time the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the Lord's covenant, to stand before Yahweh, to serve him, and to pronounce blessings in his name as it is today. Okay, then in Numbers 26:58, these also were Levite clans: the Libnite clan, the Hebronite clan, the Malite clan, the Mishite clan, and the Korhite clan. Kohath was the forefather of Amram. Okay, so in Numbers 16:8, Moses also said to Korah, now listen, you Levites. This is very important because people have to understand that the Levites, who are also called Palestinians, are very, very, very important to all religions. Basically, if it's a monotheistic religion, then the covenant of the ark was something that was very important to these monotheistic religions, and the Levites were the people who carried the covenant of the ark. So you have to understand this is very important. Okay, so in Deuteronomy 27:12, it says, when you have crossed the Jordan, these tribes shall stand on Mount Gerizim to bless the people: Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. Now, in Islam, we say Yusuf. In the other monotheistic faiths, they say Joseph. Okay, so in Deuteronomy 11:29, when the Lord your God has brought you into the land you are entering to possess, you are to proclaim on Mount Gerizim the blessings and on Mount Ebal the curses. This is very, very important as well because, again, Mount Gerizim is noted as being a place to pronounce blessings. Even more so, to kind of understand this, Yusuf was told to stand on Mount Gerizim. Yusuf is Esau's father, so you have to understand this. Yusuf was told to stand on Mount Gerizim to pronounce blessings. Okay. Now, when you look at John 4:20, it says this, so tell me, why is it that you Jews insist that Jerusalem is the only place of worship, while we Samaritans claim it is here at Mount Gerizim where our ancestors worshipped? So you really have to understand that there was a debate going on what was the holy place to worship. You had the place where the Jews worshiped, which was in Jerusalem, and then you had the place where the Samaritans worshiped, which was on Mount Gerizim, along with Yusuf, Levi, which is the Palestinians, and several other groups. The Libanites, they're all part of the Levi. So this is very important information, like, to really understand about blessings. Okay. Now it says in the Quran, in Ayat Surah 17, Ayat 1. Glorified and exalted be He, Allah, above all that evil they associate with Him, who took His slave, Muhammad, for a journey by night from Masjid al-Haram to the neighborhood whereof we have blessed, in order that we might show him, Muhammad, our ayats, proofs, evidence, lessons, signs, etc. Verily He is the all-hear, the all-seer. Now this is important because most people, when they translate the Quran, they always want to say to Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. The problem with this is that during the time of the Prophet, Masjid al-Aqsa did not exist. Masjid al-Aqsa existed after the time of the Prophet Muhammad. So he could not have went to this location because this is not the blessed neighborhood that Allah had mentioned that the other prophets and messengers had went to in the Jerusalem area. So with that being said, we'll move forward, and it says, Allah said, verily we have tried your people in your absence, and Asamari has led them astray. This is in Surah 20, Ayat 85. Now, Asamari is the one who suggested that they should have a golden calf. So that story is continued through the story of Moses, who received a message, some laws from the angel of the Lord on top of a mountain. So I'm about to reveal the significance to you of Mount Gerizim. So in Surah 20, Ayat 96, Samari said, I saw what they saw not, so I took a handful of dust from the hoofprint of the messenger Gabriel's horse and threw it into the fire in which were put the ornaments of Pharaoh's people, or in the calf. Thus my inner self suggested to me. Asamari, whoever this was, did something with Gabriel. Now you have to understand that Gabriel is the angel of the Lord who revealed the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. This is very, very significant. Okay, so in 2 Chronicles 11:15, Jeroboam, it says, Jeroboam appointed his own priest for high places, the goat demons and the golden calves he had made. So Samari, who made a golden calf, had a relationship with Jeroboam because in the Injil it says that Jeroboam is the one who had made the golden calves and his priest. So Samari more than likely was a priest of Jeroboam. So we're going to tie that back in a little bit later, because I'm going to show you Jeroboam's relationship with Samaria. So in Exodus 32:8, it says, they have been quick to turn away from what I commanded them, and have made themselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf. They have bowed down to it and sacrificed to it, and have said, these are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. This was Moses, or Musa, saying this. And then in Deuteronomy 9:16, when I looked, I saw that you had sinned against the Lord your God. You had made for yourselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf. You had turned aside quickly from the way that the Lord had commanded you. So the Lord made this command through the angel Gabriel to Musa. So not only did he make commands through the Prophet Muhammad through Gabriel or Jibril, he also made commands to Musa through Jibril, or the angel of the Lord. So in Deuteronomy 9:15, it says, so I turned and went down from the mountain while it was ablaze with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my hands. So this was Musa. Okay, in 2 Kings 14:23, in the 15th year of Amazi, son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, son of Joash, king of Israel, became king in Samaria, and he reigned for 41 years. Well, if you recall, Musa was in the wilderness for 40 years. Jeroboam, who built the calf idols, reigned in Samaria for 41 years. He also destroyed, Musa also destroyed Jeroboam's idols, or calf idol. So you have to remember that Samaria is mentioned in the Quran as the one who built the calf idol. So Jeroboam and Samaria can be seen as the same person because they built the calf idol. Okay, so in Deuteronomy 33:16 it says, with the best gifts of the earth and its fullness and favor of him who dwelt in the burning bush, let all these rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. Now this is very important because you have to understand that according to the Quran, Isa is Gabriel, but Isa is also the son of Joseph, which means that Joseph is Gabriel as well, because they all share the same blood. And on that note, I just want to share with you the serious nature and the true place where the journey that the Prophet Muhammad made when he ascended into the heavens was located, which would be the same place that the Prophet Yusuf stood and as the messenger of the burning bush and gave the law to Moses, which would be the same place where Musa received the law, which would be the location of the blessed neighborhood in the West Bank that is mentioned in the Quran. And I would also like to say, just keep in mind always that Allah is the King of the East and the West. So with that being said, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you enjoy the show.